Welcome back to Wicked F150, and as you can see, I'm on my way. I am on my way to pick up the new rims and tires and get them put on the truck. The rims that are currently on are already going to somebody else. They are actually meeting me at, I'm getting them from Discount Tire, by the way. They are meeting me at Discount, so they can just swap these rims over to their truck. It's actually the same gentleman over the summer. If you're a subscriber and you watch, you follow along the videos, I had swapped the stock, or the 18-inch rims with the gentleman's 20s. It's the same guy. So, we're 15 minutes away. I can't wait to get them on. And then it's supposed to be warm enough. I can finally paint the fender fender flares. Finally get that done. I'm hoping to get the roll bar on this weekend, which also would be the factory sub and amp from Kicker that will be getting installed by Iron Goat, of course, at the same time. Or, well, not the same time, once they're done with the roll bar. Because there's a little surprise with wiring on that as well. But we'll be back. Man, that looks good. Of course, today's video is sponsored by F150LEDs. They got a new wireless light control system for their light bars, whether it's a 20-inch, 54-inch, doesn't matter, 40-inch, I think, actually. But it's a wireless controller that you plug into the wiring for the light bar, and then it works off of a remote, so you don't have to be in the truck working with the switch and stuff like that. You can be outside of the truck, and if you need that light bar on, you can go ahead and flip it on. Say you're out working on something, middle of nowhere, and you need extra light and you're already working, just reach in your pocket, flip the switch, and you have the light bar on, instead of having to drop what you're doing, get back in the truck, flip the switch, and turn it on that way. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So this is the box that the controller comes in. Let's go ahead and open it up. That's how it comes packaged. Bubble wrap and tape, so it's all secure. You can see the remote here, and then the little switch that plugs into the wiring itself to give you that remote function. Let's go ahead and cut this open. I'll show you how to install it. All right, so before we get it installed, it's now out of the bubble wrap. This is the little remote you get, because it does have 3 different functions, which I will show you. You have 3 different buttons, just an on, which is a steady light, and then 2 different types of strobes, which is perfect in case you got to get somebody's attention. Again, same concept, you're out in the middle of nowhere, and you get stranded, or somebody's trying to find you to get to you to help out with the project you're on, or to save you. These different kinds of strobes will really help grab people's attention to, hey, I need help. Here's a big strobe. But let's go ahead and get these installed. It's super simple. So the whole purpose behind this is so you don't need the switch in the cab if you choose not to. You can still have it in the cab with this if you want it, which I will be doing. I'm just going to keep the switch in the cab. But if you do not want the switch in the cab, which is more work to get the wiring from the light bar in through the firewall into the cab, you'd want to skip all that. Go ahead and make sure when you purchase to get the wireless one, and you can just leave this under the hood, secure it down, zip ties, whatever, put it through with the tabs, put it to a existing bolt already underneath the hood, and you can just leave this there instead of running anything through the firewall to the cab. But since I already did, my wiring is already inside the cab, so we're going to take this, and the wire from this, again, already inside. So let's go inside, and where you hook this up is, if you already have the switch, you'll be doing this in here as well, but you just find the switch that it's connected to. Right here, where the switch itself is connected. You will unplug this, plug this in to the wire from the outside, and then the other wire to the switch itself. So that way I'll have both switch and remote function. All right, so now you can see how I went ahead and did it. The wires coming out of the box, of course, you can't confuse them. One is a male end, the other one's a female end. Of course, the male end will go to the female connector from the engine bay, and the other connector will go to the switch if you choose to have that. And I just tucked it up there with the rest of the wiring, so it doesn't bob around, it's not hanging or anything like that. Now, if you do choose to leave it in the engine bay and not have the switch run through the cab, you just leave that connector unhooked. It's no problem. This is completely weatherproof, the box and everything like that, so that's why it's no issue to leave it under the hood if you choose to do that. Now, let's go ahead and test it out. All right, as you can see, of course, I'm standing out in front of the truck now, and the remote on. And there you go. So on is just your simple light bar. That's just where it's on. Let's go ahead and push the first strobe button. And that is what it'll look like. And the second strobe. So obviously that will definitely grab people's attention. And of course in the dark, it'll be much easier to see, which is the point of a light bar. You use it, when it's dark out. But I think it's a great product. It's definitely a feature, like I said, for people that are in places where you truly need the light bar and something could happen. The remote's a definitely a nice thing to have. But like I said, I'm keeping the switch inside because, if you're already in the truck, I don't want to have to go looking for a remote to turn it on while I could just push a button in the truck. This is handy for when you're outside the truck and need to operate that. Check them out, F150LEDS.com, and the light bars and stuff. You have the option to click on their wireless upgrade, and they'll throw that in with it. So let's get back. Now that you guys have seen the new wheels, which I absolutely love, I think these, they came out great. I did, of course, lose a little bit of the red accent color from the wheels, but this one, it at least has the red on the hubcap there, and because of that, I'm going to go ahead and paint the tow hooks red. That will be done today. But with these, of course, fitment is always a question for everybody. These are now 35s by 11 3/4. That is straight from Nitto. That is their measurements of this tire. Now, cutting the crash bars, I've already cut them because of the bumper. So throwing this Raptor bumper on, the crash bars hung out because they come out to about here. So they hung up underneath the bumper about 2-3 inches, 2.5 inches, something like that. So I already trimmed them up a little bit. I am not going to remove these crash bars ever, period. That plays into why Ford has such a great crash test rating. So they're staying in my truck. Some people choose to remove them, that's fine, but I will not be one of those people. Trimming them is still fine, in my opinion, because they're still there. Like I said, I only trimmed 2 to 3 inches off of it. But they don't rub in the front. They do rub back here because of these fenders. I'm not sure if they would rub on a factory fender, but they definitely rub big time on these fenders. Again, not sure if it's because it's a little thicker than the factory flares and it comes down farther, but definitely rubbing. Let's see if we can zoom in here a little bit and see. So yeah, and that is just driving less than 5 miles from Discount Tire where I got them to home, and it rubbed the plastic that much. So we're gonna go ahead and get the Sawzall, trim off the plastic right here so the tire doesn't rub anymore on both sides, of course, and that'll be it for the wheel reveal. Today's gonna be a busy day, like I said, painting the tow hooks, then the fender flares. So it's supposed to be a little warmer today and tomorrow. It's still a little chilly technically for painting. You really want it to be over 70, minimum at least 60, and it is just on that 60-degree line this after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm going to get started now about noon, and hopefully it'll be okay. We'll see how they turn out and how the paint holds up, but the process will still be the same. The process, I mean, it's pretty simple. You lightly sand the parts down, you clean them off, then like I said, I got the same paint from the bumper, automotive touch-up paint. They send because these are plastic paint adhesive promoter, so I'm going to spray that on, and then 3 coats of paint and 3 coats of the gloss clear coat, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to put them back on, because I doubt they'll be ready to put back on this evening. And tomorrow's detail video, finally warm enough to go ahead and clean this truck. It is, the dirtiness of this is driving me nuts with all the rain we've been having in the cold weather, but it's going to get fully detailed, actually like in depth. All my products are from McKee's. It's going to be of course regular wash, and then we're going to clay bar it, then we're going to wax it, and then we're going to throw on their ceramic coating mix on there as well. Oh, and paint sealant, doing that too. So it's going to shine, it's going to be clean, and it's going to stay that way instead of getting cruddy and dirty, as you can see here from all the rain and kind of winterish weather that we're having, because of just the temperature. We haven't got any snow or anything, but look forward to that. So I will see you guys next time. I hope you guys like the reveal. Hope you guys like the new rims and tires. If you have any questions of the fitment or anything like that, let me know. Don't think I put, I said before what size they actually are. The rims are 20 by 10, negative 25, and the tires, I got a metric size because that's more true to size from Nitto, their website, because I wanted a 35 tall. So it's 295, 65, 20. It's 35.1 by 11.77 wide. A 35 by 12 and a half from Nitto is actually 34 3/4 and 12 and a half. But I wanted the height to be a 35, so I went with the metric size. But as you can see on the 25 real quick, before we go, they do stick out a little bit better. So they do poke out farther than the fenders here. As you can see, just a hair past this little bump out that you have to try to save the side of the truck. So it looks perfect in my opinion. It's not too far, but it is, you know, just right. They're not tucked in anymore. So again, hope you guys liked the video. Subscribe, share it. Check out the link in the description for the hoodies, t-shirts, all that stuff for your Eco Boost or Eco Beast, depending on what you call it. Facebook, Instagram, all the description, or the parts that I've ever put on this truck are always in the description, the link, so you can get them yourself. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great weekend.